Hey, I'm Tommy. So, this is a story about something that happened to me almost a year ago, and I have not made a video on it yet on my channel because it's really not that fun of a thing to talk about. But I've got all these burnt up electronics sitting around my house to remind me about how Edison tried to burn my house down. So here's what happened. Edison is my electricity company, and well, not mine, I don't own them. It's the company that provides my house with electricity and everyone else in my area. They had some malfunctioning electrical equipment that I guess started this huge fire called the Rye Fire, and that's not how they tried to burn my house down. During the time we were having like brownouts and like periods where Edison was turning the electricity off to service their lines. When they reactivated the electricity, when they turned it back on one of those times, they had something that's called an open neutral. I don't know exactly what it means. I'm not like, I don't work for Edison, but what I do know is it sent tens or hundreds of thousands of amps of current through all of our houses, everyone on this street and the street next to me and pretty much everyone in this community, and it fried tons of our electronics. I had to replace my solar inverter, and then I had to buy new circuit boards and replace the ones in my tankless water heater. And I had to have them overnight, so my whole family didn't have hot water. In fact, I'd say maybe 50 or 100 houses in my community had the same problem. In fact, all their appliances went out. Their ovens, microwaves, washer and dryers, all their appliances were blown out. I got lucky because I had my solar inverter as like a in-between that kind of saved some of my electronics, I guess. And then this is the one that really got me. So looking at the inverter, it was black and charred, like there was a little contained fire just in my solar inverter. So that was the first step. Luckily, the little box contained it, and it didn't burn my house down. Then the tankless water heater. In that one, there was some fried electronics somewhere. I didn't see any, damage. I couldn't replace any of the capacitors or anything. It was just broken. I mean, do you see how many connections there are here? Like, I'm pretty good with electronics, but like 50 people had to replace these or get brand new water heaters. Like, that sucks. Fucking trash. But then the one thing that got me is I have a bunch of these little light switches all over my house that the builder installed, right? And I mean, you don't really think about how they work until they don't work anymore. And so I took it apart, and you gotta check this out. This is the light switch that is in the bathroom that my son uses. It looked like this, and I was like, oh, well, I guess it just, stopped working after I replaced it. But then I wanted to see further if I could like even fix it. And so I took the circuit board off, and inside, it was completely charred. So this little light switch caught on fire in there. So when they turned the electricity back on, not only did the solar inverter and my tankless water heater burn out, but they also set a fire inside my house on the light switch in the bathroom that my son uses. So myself and several other of my neighbors, we all sent claims notices or claim forms to Edison to have them fix it, because they know that they had an open neutral, which burned all our houses out, all our appliances, almost started fires in many of our houses, and they just denied all of them. There was never any resolution. They blamed the builder of our houses, and the builder blamed Edison, and it was ultimately Edison's fault, and they never owned up to it. And so no one's claims got approved by Edison. They just denied all of them. And I'm not going to try and start a legal battle with a huge corporate giant over, like $1,000 or $2,000 worth of electronics that are blown out. It's just really frustrating because they admitted to doing wrong, they just won't admit to the responsibility of their electronics that blew out. It was really frustrating because there's nothing I could have done to have prevented it, or at least so I thought. Because in my office, all my electronics were fine because pretty much everything is plugged into surge protectors. And so I found out there's a thing called a whole home or whole house surge protector. Basically, you have an electrician come and install this thing into like right below your breaker box. The surge protector itself only costs like $250, and the electrician installed it for $200. So for $450, the next time Edison tries to send 140,000 amps down my house, This little surge protector box is rated for that, and it'll just I'll just have to flip a switch. So I wish I knew about those earlier, but now I have one installed in my house, and a lot of my neighbors have them installed too, and they haven't burned my house down yet. So yeah, really kind of a disappointing story. Wish Edison would have paid for my burnt out electronics, but they suck. Thanks for watching. See you next time.